Friday the 15th, we made sail with the morning tide. I had been quarantined to a storeroom away from the other passengers and crew. All I want to do now is return home.
My dear Sixsmith, I am in desperate need of your help. I got hooked on a journal written in 1849 by a dying lawyer during a voyage from a Pacific isle to San Francisco. Half the book is missing. It's completely killing me. A half-finished book is, after all, a half-finished love affair.
What are you reading?
Old letters.
Why do you keep reading them?
I don't know. Just trying to understand why we keep making the same mistakes over and over.
Our lives and our choices, each encounter,
Louis Sauret, Spyglass Magazine.
right, suggests a new potential direction.
That's it. The music from my dream.
I call it the Cloud Atlas Sextet.
At home.
Movements I wrote imagining us meeting again and again in different lives, in different ages.
What are you doing in here?
We cross and recross our old tracks like figure skaters. The love of my life, what had happened to her?
I can't explain it. But I knew when I opened that door...
I heard it in a dream. I was in a nightmarish cafe. Blaring, bright lights. Underground and no way out. And the waitresses, they all had the same face.
Welcome to Papa Songs.
No reason to hide. I know you, son me, 451.
Yesterday, my life was headed in one direction. Today, it is headed in another. You ever think the universe was against you?
What the fuck?
Where's our money?
The law says...
Law! Fear, belief, love, phenomena that determine the course of our lives. These forces begin long before we are born and continue after we perish.
Our lives are not our own. We are bound to others, past and present. And by each crime and every kindness, we birth our future.
I have begun to fear I may never hold my beloved Tilda in my arms again.
The problem you create is a political one.
Yesterday, I believed I would never have done what I did today. I feel like something important has happened to me. Is this possible? I just met her, and yet I have fallen in love with Louisa Ray.
Saving me twice, are you?
You fall, I'll catch you.
There is a natural order to this world, and those who try to upend it do not fare well.
believe there is another world waiting for us, Sixsmith. A better world. And I'll be waiting for you there.
Cloud Atlas. It's a unique piece of one-of-a-kind art. Andy, Lana, and Tom took this huge deck of cards and shuffled it all together.
It took us about a year to write the script.
One of the breakthroughs for us was to abandon the idea that it's 6 stories. It's one story.
What if the villain of one story is actually the hero of another story played by the same actor?
The idea that we are one soul that travels through many lifetimes, that part was thrilling as an actor and a huge challenge.
Action! Moments like this, I imagine us meeting again and again in different ages, in different lives.
What are you doing in here?
Each of the stories is reflecting on one another as you go through the movie.
The overall theme is, what is the human condition but a long series of decisions that you have to make? And those decisions, every piece of cruelty, every moment of love, affect the past and the future.
I wanted to go. There's a natural order to this world.
No matter what you do, it will never amount to anything more than a single drop in a limitless ocean.
What is an ocean but a multitude of drops?
It's been a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I will never be a part of another film like this in my life. I know it.
Wow, they've made the impossible possible. That's amazing.
I've never been so excited to be a part of something like this.
It's wonderful, is what actors dream about, really.
It's going to have a scope that's bigger than anything I've ever seen.
You fall, I'll catch you. Cloud Atlas.
I believe there is another world waiting for us. And I'll be waiting for you there.
There are whole movements I wrote imagining us meeting again and again in different lives, in different ages.
We all play 6 roles. Sometimes I'm the hotel manager. You know, that's one of my roles. But key scene. It's a type of fun that you don't get to have in movies. Selfishly, it's ridiculous amounts of fun. Professionally, it's a ridiculous amount of work.
The idea of making a movie where one person got to play 4, 5, sometimes 6 different characters really excited me.
How does it feel? There's just so much going on in this film. You've got actors playing different characters.
Some in prosthetics, some men are playing women, some women are playing different nationality, or men are playing different nationality. It's all completely crazy. It seems almost completely impossible.
So I really hope that everybody is prepared for the challenge.
When I got the call saying there are 2 more characters they want you to play, I just couldn't imagine in my wildest dream what other 2 women could I possibly play. And then I found out, no, one is a man. And then one is a Jewish German woman. And I thought, wow, I never would have thought those would have been characters offered to me. So I just got more and more excited as the days went on.
Cut.
The fact someone is offering me the part of a 23rd century cannibal chief, for that reason alone, I'm doing this job. There was very little throat slitting in Sense and Sensibility, I remember. I always felt there should have been more.
It's been amazing to show up day after day and see the other cast members in the makeup trailer and sometimes having conversations with people and then realizing like 2 minutes in, oh my God, Hugh Grant, I had no idea that was you. Or, oh my God, Duna, you're a Mexican lady today.
Aquí los papeles están en orden, mi jefe no está, yo estoy...
I don't understand.
It's like, don't I know you?
The way it impacts the work that we did as an actor is it instantaneously, I found, put us in a direction for the voices, for the physicality of it. You cannot dress up as Dr. Henry Goose and not talk like Henry Goose and sound like him.
Seriously, I would put on nose and chin and whatever else they asked me to do just to be part of the whole trip of it.
The challenge was to sort of set aside your ego in a way. Everyone's having to deal with sort of serving something that's bigger than you.
Stay close. Fabricants get snatched here.
Cinema is about performance, obviously. That's what's so exciting about the job, because it's really relishing what actors can bring to the roles, and it makes complete sense in the nature of the novel.
This was really something groundbreaking in my career, to be able to transcend who I really am and be in the body of someone else of a different time and ethnic group and space.
Can't even believe I agreed to do this.
Whatever you do, don't look back. This whole movie is an actor's dream, not only to play with different characters, which is wonderful. I am General Anko Apis. But also to play with such a wonderful group of actors. They want the explosion, the chaos and carnage.
There are various star vehicles where the leading actor has played several parts, but where the whole sort of raft of actors will be playing a raft of characters is quite unique. Actually, it's hard to think of any film that's done it at all.
All of our roles are like the pearl necklace for each one of us. Every one of them is connected somehow.
By having actors play multiple parts, suddenly you actually get to see the subtle little things an actor can do to change the meaning of a performance so profoundly.
It's been a once-in-a-lifetime filmmaking experience. It's beautiful. It's always going to be special, and I'm going to always remember the experience and everything I got from it, and all the lessons.
Guess that makes two of us.
Nobody just comes on as a version of that is familiar of them. We've all been turned into 6 other actors that we will now have to compete with for jobs in the future. Be competing with myself.
I mean, it would be nice to hear a bit more about this whole idea of that somebody takes what was yours, in a way, in an artistic meaning, and they make it theirs without, of course, ever wanting to lose the you in it.
It's as if I sort of built my book out of Lego, and you didn't really add any extra blocks or anything, but you disassembled my Lego novel and then reassembled it in the shape of a film. I've discovered, oddly enough, after years of writing a dialogue, actually, we're pretty clumsy. The exact nature of a cup that I can have in the text but don't have to describe must be described on film, because you can't have a cup, you can't see a cup without detail on it, even if it's a lack of detail. So for dialogue, actually I was just writing what I was hearing in my head and assuming that that line would be received. Mrs. Dalloway bought the flowers. Mrs. Dalloway bought the flowers. Mrs. Dalloway bought the flowers. I was just sort of assuming that what the reader was getting was what I was thinking, but no, of course not, idiot. No. Actors, of course, they do and can and literally have to. It's great watching the directors work. They take a number of cuts and they're all good, but actors will animate lines in different ways and sort of apply different adjectives to them. And the bewildering multiplicity of ways in which one actor can interpret exactly the same line, I don't know how they do it.
Action. This is a violation of the Ruddy Incarceration Act.
This is a violation of the Ruddy Incarceration Act. This is a violation. This is a violation. This is a violation. This is a violation.
The Ruddy actor deserves an applause for entertaining us so well.
A director will build up a bank of perfectly usable lines, but they'll subtly alter.
What are you doing in here?
But the shape-shifting, it's not a very precise word, but just the magic, the alchemy that they turn on instantly. It just is breathtaking.
When you watch a finished film, you don't understand the art form of acting as much because it's quite invisible in the scheme of the movie.
Yeah.
But when you sit behind a character and you watch the range and the different variations and the subtle little things an actor can do to change the meaning of a performance so profoundly, or the meaning of a line so profoundly, it's like you really get excited about acting. I would love to sometimes just recut our movies with slight variation in performances, just as a way of demonstrating how amazing acting, what an amazing art form of acting is.
What you can't do on the page is stress. You know, when a composer writes lento or forte at the beginning, that's pretty clumsy, and it's the conductor's job to actually refine that.
Well, at the time when we first they were talking about the book and the ideas, you know, Lana was talking about the ideas of it and about the worlds in the book. I don't remember talking to Lana when we were doing V for Vendetta about it being a film. In fact, I don't think that was mooted. But probably there were all sorts of explosions going off in her brain.
It's been a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I will never be a part of another film like this in my life.
It's so rare where you find people so passionate about what they're doing, so genius in their concept, so brave in their attempt to take on so much.
Really brilliant in every way.
You know, in the old-fashioned sense, you'll sit there and you will be taken on a gigantic roller coaster ride.
You know, it's a spectacle.
It is contrary to a massive amount of things that are going on in mainstream movie making. It's a left field adaptation of a huge tome. It's Cloud Atlas 2.0. You know, David Mitchell did the first thing, and they used the architecture of cinema in order to make it so that it is far from being an episodic piece of work.
This sort of space project size operation that any movie is dedicated to making another level of reality in that little magic rectangle just glowing there in the dark. What an amazing species we can be sometimes.